Have you ever wondered how record deals and record labels truly work?
You put that thought into it's another thing to say something negative and put that into the universe. It's another thing to see someone being raped. You know, that's the reason why I compare what's happening in the music industry to Me Too, because artists are raped. You've heard that term before. This is not like a new thing that I'm making up. The contracts are made to rape the artist.
So, why do artists always seem to have issues with record labels? Why will a successful rapper like Meek Mill state that he never got paid from his music? Or why will a group like TLC, who have one of the greatest albums of all time and have sold over 10 million records, not even have $15,000 to file a lawsuit against their record label?
Like, what?
LA2, you didn't
That's
like
his
him
wife,
movie?
man. He knew what was going on. Now, if you don't know,
Well, yes, that
L.A.
would be
Reid
true.
and Pebbles raped TLC.
Yes, y'all sold like 10 million plus records and only ended up with like 15K a piece or something.
No, they
like that?
ended up in debt, really.
Yeah,
You ended up in debt.
Yeah,
We was
were
in debt.
They couldn't buy y'all nothing better than a RAV4.
Well,
We had-
it was
you
guys had Pathfinders.
I had a
and
Pathfinder.
I had the new Prelude.
If you understand how a record deal works, we have to make you a rap star. Alright, let's imagine you are a fast-rising upcoming rapper who has just been signed by one of the biggest labels in the industry on a $4 million record deal. Lots of money, lots of zeros. But the truth is, that money really isn't yours, because a record deal is like a shady loan you get from a loan shark. See, the $4 million is to fund your album and any other expenses you might have. Any profit you make from selling this album is first used to pay back the $4 million you owe us, and then whatever profit is left is still split between the record company and you, the artist. And don't you think you are ever splitting the remaining profit 50-50. The $4 million is the money that has been lent to you for the duration of the contract you've signed with the record company. After you have signed on the dotted line, of course, you would be given an advance.
Hi, I'm Kerry Washington, and I'm hosting Saturday Night Live this week with musical guest Eminem.
This is fun. Are you having fun?
Of course.
And Eminem, are you having fun? Two of us are having fun.
This advance will be a huge sum of money that will make you feel like you have made it. The kind of money that intoxicates you and makes you flex on your ops, buy that latest whip, and show your hood that you have landed that bag.
I'm the blackest history in the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm the blackest man ever done this shit. Young rich nigga. You know what I'm saying? CMG, heavy count. See that? Everybody asked me what I was doing. Why I ain't dropping and shit. But I just been trying to spin. Tell the label, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, tell the haters, I thank you for hating me. Tell the...
But the reality is, the advance you've been given is more or less a trap. See, most rappers end up spending their advance on expensive clothes, jewelry, women, and different types of luxury items that end up plunging you into debt.
Oh my goodness. Now this is my brand. This is my brand new remote control black Lamborghini chain. Remote control Lamborghini. It's black just like my pinky ring. Just like my pinky ring and my two bracelets is all black like that. So I just do like that. You know what I'm saying? Just do like that right there. You know, have everybody like damn. Damn. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes your record label would even encourage you to spend your advance and post it on social media, as it will help you improve your image. And of course, the label might even introduce you to the best stores to get your Rolls Royce and jewelry just to help you get the best deal. Now the rapper is surely in debt. Remember, you were signed on a $4 million deal, so let's say we gave you $1 million in advance, which means you now have $3 million. And remember, that means you already owe the record label $1 million. You already owe $1 million before even any money has been spent on recording and producing your album. So now you've hit the studio to start making your album. The label wants you to have only the best, so we get you the best quality studio for you to operate at a premium and work your magic. And you can't blame a label for doing this, because you could say they are just trying to protect their investment and want the best for you, their rapper. However, this can also be a problem when the label is forcing you to work with certain producers or making you work with the most expensive option and draining your budget. On the Off the Record podcast, DJ Academics explained a situation where a label intentionally tried to drain a rapper's budget to ensure they maintain control over the rapper.
They gave somebody a $2 million recording budget. In a $2 million recording budget, they wanted to book a studio every day for 6 months straight. The manager for the artist said, well, if it's $2 million, we finna save some money. We about to take about like 60 to 70,000. We gonna build our own studio. They said the label told them, we won't approve of any place that we don't already pre-select, which means you can't take the budget and go do it a cheaper way. The place they ended up having to basically settle with, it was a mansion in the Hollywood Hills that had a studio in it that they paid $3,500 a day, running through that artist's budget. The label and the person who owned the crib, they got a relationship. That's almost like money laundering. You're making sure that artist's budget go to the person you with.
So, in your case, let's say your label books you to work on your album at a quality studio, which costs $300 to $500 per hour for the next 3 to 6 months. Remember that the money you spend for your studio session is cooking from the $3 million left in your budget. So, let's imagine that your entire studio session cost you $400,000. This means you are now left with $2.6 million. But remember that this also means you now owe the label $1.4 million. Now, it's also important that your album has a hit record that is popping off on the charts, doing crazy numbers, and is on rotation in clubs and on radio. To achieve this, you need a dope producer and perhaps a songwriter, someone with a track record of creating hits. And once again, the label will come through and help you contact anyone you need. However, I'm sure you know that this wouldn't come cheap. Some reports state that it would cost you about $75 to $150K to hire someone like Metro Boomin. So let's say you find a producer that charges $50K per beat, and you end up spending $600K on all your beats. Now you've halved your budget and are now left with only $2 million, but you also owe your label $2 million. After you've completed the album and recorded the hits, the album still needs to be marketed. Because even though the record company advised you to spend your money on clothes and jewelry to build your image, this can only do so much in helping you create a brand that encourages fans to buy or listen to your album. Therefore, the label will assign a marketing team for you. The marketing team will then map out strategies to help promote your album. Your marketing team will start paying playlist owners to put your song on top of the best streaming playlist. So, the marketing team might spend up to $500K to get your songs on the best Spotify playlist. However, the marketing doesn't stop here. Now everyone knows that paying a radio to play an artist's song is illegal. But that doesn't mean the record company doesn't know a way around this. See, the label would instead buy an ad space on a radio station, and this is a cover for how they pay the radio station to play your music. So let's say your label pays the station $400K to put your song on rotation and play your hits at the best hour. Now you owe the label $2.9 million, and you are left with $1.1 million. Now, throughout the process of making your album, you also had another team working for you behind the scenes. This includes your manager, live agent, publicist. These people are your staff. And even though you might not know it, their salary also comes out of your pocket. So you have to pay your staff another $600,000, which means you now owe $3.5 million and are left with just $500K. After your album is released, let's say your songs have started blowing up and your music is everywhere. The next step is to go on tour. This will require hotel and other travel expenses. But remember, you are now a star, and you have to maintain the flamboyant image that your label encouraged you to create. So you definitely can't take public flights like the rest of us. And this is when rappers start flying private. Now, every flight will cost you about 30 to 50 grand. And apart from the flight and hotel expenses, the label would also have to customize your bus while you are on tour. So when you put all of these together, this will set you back another $500,000, which means you have now finished your budget, and you also owe the record company $4 million. Now, most rappers will tell you that this whole process is worth it. Why? Well, because they are sure that they will blow up, recoup the money they owe the label, and even make enough profit for their own pockets. But that isn't as easy as it sounds. So let's say you make $5 million from your song, which is supposed to be a major win for you, isn't it? But fam, this isn't time for celebration, because none of that $5 million is yours just yet. Instead, the money first goes straight to the label to pay the $4 million you already owe. So what you are left with is $1 million, and the label still has to take their cut of this $1 million. Now, most rappers and artists in general hardly get a good percentage of their royalties. Only established acts can negotiate and get a good percentage of their royalties. New or upcoming rappers like you only get 20% of their royalties, and some only see as low as 8% or even 4% of their royalties. 8 to 10% is the amount that rappers who are at the beginning of their careers usually get. So let's say your label is one of the good ones, and they give you 20%. This means that you only get $200K from the $5 million that was generated through your music. So, do you see why I said the music business is a cutthroat business? Remember that this 20% I mentioned is a very generous figure. Because back in 2017, Summer Walker was only getting 15% when she signed her first contract. And in some cases, some labels don't even pay at all. That's what happened to Meek Mill and even Lil Wayne, as he had to fight Birdman and even Universal Records. You might also be thinking, don't rappers get to keep all the money they make from tours and shows? Well, not in every situation. See, record companies created what is now known as the 360 deal in the early 2000s. See, the 360 deal allows the label to get a percentage of every revenue that an artist earns. This includes the money you earn from the tours, shows, TV appearances, your merch, endorsement deals, songwriting, everything you can think of. Yeah, for every penny that drops in your pocket, the label gets $1. In most cases, the 360 deal leaves an artist in a difficult position financially, and is what eventually forces you to resign with the label, and then the whole cycle we talked about begins again. With a 360 deal, labels can sometimes even control what an artist says, what they wear, how they wear it. The artist simply becomes a product that the label packages and sells to millions of fans. Now, I'm not saying signing record deals is a bad thing, or that all record companies are evil, because signing with a label does have many benefits, and in most cases, it can fast-track an artist's growth. In fact, between 2010 and 2018, 93 of the hip-hop songs that made it to the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 were from artists who were signed to record labels. However, the truth is, most record deals are designed to favor the label and leave the artist in a ditch. And this is why it's important for an artist to have a good lawyer before signing this deal. But sometimes, the label can still find a way around this. Before signing a record deal, many rappers had never seen a contract in their lives, which means they don't really know what they are dealing with. So, the record company outsmarts the rapper by offering them a lawyer that is associated with the label. And no matter how popular or successful an artist is, if the lawyer is affiliated with the label, he will always place the company's interest over the rapper who is supposedly their client. This is another reason why artists end up signing bad deals. Only a few artists seem to have been able to outsmart their labels and make the mainstream model work for them. For example, SZA was able to sign a deal with Interscope Records that allows her to have a 70-30 split.
I like this girl, SZA, right? Top Dog's girl, right? So 5 years ago, she gets 15%. 12%. They own everything and got a 70-30 split the other way. Of course, they were able to build a buzz and technology on their own.
Another artist who has been able to get a good deal for himself is 21 Savage, as he owns all his masters. While there are other rappers like Russ, who have shown you can be successful as an independent artist. So, the most important thing for any rapper who wants to sign with a label is to manage their finances wisely, and most importantly, have a very trusted counsel.